All right, everyone, we are live with Stream of Consciousness with Dan. And today I've got someone whose work has become a true Wisconsin treasure. She's a master cheesemaker. She's built something remarkable in the heart of Thorp, Wisconsin. And she brings a level of craft and care that you can literally taste in every wheel of Gouda she makes. What I love about her story is that it's rooted in courage, curiosity, and a deep respect for tradition. And somehow she's managed to blend all of that into a life and a business that feels both grounded and joyful. Today, I'm here with Marieke Penterman. I'm excited to dig into her journey, her craft, and the heart behind what she's built. Marieke, I'm so glad to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to have so much fun. There's nothing better than sitting down with someone who values cheese as much as I do, and the person that values making cheese as much as you do. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much again. Um, but before we even get into cheese, I want to go back to the beginning. So if people aren't familiar with your story, talk just a little bit about your childhood as you were born in the Netherlands and just kind of talk about what that looked like and paint the picture for us.
Yeah, so I grew up on in about a 60 cow dairy farm in the east part of the Netherlands. Holland fits about 5 times in the state of Wisconsin, just to show you a little bit the size of the country. It's very tiny. Yet we have about 18 million people in that country. So it's about 5 times smaller, yet has 3 times more the people. So
Oh,
um,
wow.
that puts things a little bit in perspective. And I grew up then on the east part. My mom and dad started a dairy farm together. They continued my father's dairy farm. The only thing is they moved from one side of the town to the other side of town because there was more land available on the other side of the town, and it started with about 16 or 17 cows. And they continued growing that till about 65 cows. And then my brother took over the family farm and he's still continuing dairy farming. On my mother's side, there was already a 7th generation dairy farmer. And on my father's side, and there were about 5 generations. So my brother would be the sixth over there. And
Oh, geez. Okay.
the funny part I always find is that on both sides of the family, it was always the woman that were milking the cows. I have in my store, we have a beautiful farmstead creamery in Thorp, and we have a retail store where people can come and well see how we make the cheese and try some of the cheeses. But then they also we have pictures on the wall from my family, and you see my grandmother in a wooden shoe milking cows, and my dad is standing right beside her. So yeah, it's we're I'm blessed. I'm coming from a very on both sides where the women are very driven. And somebody else asked me the other day, like, where do you get it from? And I think it's from my grandmother. See, in that time, you didn't have the opportunity to do so. You were supposed to stay at home and take care of the family. And it's just very exciting to see that these days it's not determined by gender, but just by your drive, what you want to do.
Hmm.
And that's very exciting.
No, absolutely. That's so cool. I didn't realize that you had such a lineage from your family. So that's awesome. Outside again of like the dairy farm, what kind of hobbies did you have? Were you into like reading or music or anything other than that? I just kind of want to get a sense of who young Marika was as well.
Um, so yeah, I grew up on a dairy farm and it was in our DNA, but it was also yeah, my mom would always take us into the milking parlor. I always wonder if I would have grown up in the city with parents that were maybe accountants or teachers, what if I would still end up in the dairy. But I love cows, and my dad and I both loved the genetic part of the dairy industry. Dairy farmers, they you can dairy farm in so many ways, but you have to do it in a way that you really enjoy it. And you can see that sometimes one dairy farmer is loves more the nutritional part, or the other farmer loves more the economical part, where you're really efficient. Some dairy farmers love a beautiful cow in the barn, so you can do it in so many different ways, and you have to do it because you put so many hours in it, and not every hour is compensated. So it's a passion you have, and yeah. So growing up between the cows, we did a lot of cow shows, and my agriculture, my education is all in the dairy side. So, which ended up that I did an internship by a dairy farm in Denmark. I went to Canada, and in Canada, that's where I met Rolf. He and his brother both grew up on a dairy farm in the Netherlands, and they both wanted to farm. And because Holland is so tiny, there was not much of an opportunity over there. So their only opportunity to farm would be that they would have to go abroad, and they ended up in Canada, by looking at the farm where I was working that summer, and we always kept in contact. And I told him, like, if he ever would find a farm across the ocean or wherever, that they should give me a call, and I would come and help them out for a week or so, which I then did. They in 2002 they found a beautiful dairy farm in Wisconsin. Sometimes people ask me why Thorp, and I always say, like, well, if you love cows, where else could you end up? I know there are other states that say that they have happy cows, but if they have a happy cows, then we in Wisconsin have extremely happy cows. Cows in general love a little bit more the colder weather, so it's not the cow that is cold, it's often the farmer that is cold.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah,
that you
so
mentioned that. I love that you
yeah,
mentioned that. So my late uncle, he passed away, but he was a farmer in Wisconsin, and I remember going to the farm as a kid, and I'm just picturing kind of you with the cows, and I'm picturing me, and I would just hang out with the cows. It sounds really wild, but I would like hang out with the cows and pet them and talk to them, and I don't know, it's just I think it's like the most natural thing to do there. To me, a lot of people make fun of me when I say that the cow is my favorite animal, and it really is.
it is. It has a lot of character. And on our farm, all the cows have a name. I know at my parents' farm, all the cows had a name, but it would be then Honda 123 and Jans 11, or Jet 54. But all our cows on our current farm have an unique name. So they don't. Sometimes we have a couple Mariekes, and we have seven of them. So, but in general, all the cows have their own name.
I love that. That is so cool because it's just I just have such a soft spot for animals, so I love that when you put the care and the time and the compassion into your animals, you get a better product. I mean, no one can argue that.
Yes. Sometimes it makes me a little bit sad. Well, like there's a lot of misunderstandings, not a lot, but sometimes there's a misunderstanding. And I get it. Like sometimes if you don't know what it takes to do somebody else's job, you sometimes come to wrong, misleading information or conclusions. And there was the same thing as when we started making cheese. I had no idea. I would go to the store, I would buy a piece of cheese and think, wow, that's a lot of money. Now I went through the whole thing of learning how to make cheese. And now I'm like, go to the store and think that's not enough money for that piece of cheese. So because now I know what it takes to make cheese.
Hmm.
And that's the same thing with dairy farmers too. And I try to put it in perspective, like you don't become an accountant if you hate numbers, or you don't become a barber if you hate working with people and hair. There's a reason why a dairy farmer is a dairy farmer, because that's where his passion is, and he will do everything to make sure that the cow has the best life, because it's also his livelihood. So at the
Hmm.
end, if he wants to continue, or we want to continue what we love doing, we have to make sure that we do the very best we can to make sure that the cow actually is fed before we are.
Hmm. Absolutely. So now that we're still talking about cows, I could talk about cows all day, but could you talk about the difference between Dutch cows and Wisconsin cows? I have no idea, but I'm assuming there's a difference. And how does that affect the cheese?
Oh, that's a good question. So the cow we have cow breeds. So we have Holstein cows, and at home we had Holstein cows. So they're pretty. They're the same. You have black and white Holsteins. You have red and white Holsteins. You have brown Swiss cows. And the world is without a border these days. So a lot of the DNA comes from countries, and they are about the same. What does happen is sometimes the infrastructure in a country is different. So the Netherlands had for years, they had a quota system to keep the milk production in balance with the market, supply and demand. And because of that, the volume didn't really matter for your income. Like you had a set volume, but where
Hmm.
you could make more value out of your income would be when you would have a higher protein and a higher fat. So the genetics then, because of what the market was or how the infrastructure in the country was, the genetically wise, they started breeding already a little bit earlier for the contents in the milk. Also, quality, there were quality rules were different over there compared to here, but it's often the dynamic in a country that will determine a little bit. So yet you have the same breeds, but the dynamic around it will sometimes determine. So I remember when I went to Canada, and like Canada and America didn't. Well, Canada has a quota system too, but America did not have a quota system. Does not have a quota system, and so you would get paid by volume. So the content wasn't always as important as in Europe, and so you would get paid by volume. So then the interest of having a higher fat and protein wasn't there right
Hmm.
away. So, but they are now. I mean, the industry catches up, and so then it's being now driven by the industry, higher fat and protein, and so yeah. But it's sometimes just yeah. All kinds of circumstances that play a role in. But yeah, our herd is half is Holsteins, a quarter is Brown Swiss, and then we have a quarter of a mixture of everything. So it's almost
Well,
like Christmas morning.
it's like a mutt. It's like a mutt, like a dog.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
there, yeah,
Oh, um, well, no, oh gosh, I just wish I could come up and visit. I hope I do at some point, but
you should.
I will at some point, I promise. Um, so I really wanted to talk about courage because it's been on my mind for quite some time because it takes some courage to, uproot yourself and move across the ocean to another country. So kind of where did that courage come from, or did you just have that belief in yourself? Or could you just talk about what really sparked you being like, I can do this over there? Or did it just come naturally?
Oh, that's a good question. And I think when you're younger, you're a little bit, you don't think so much. At least I'm a very impulsive person. And so sometimes I just jump with my feet first before my head goes, right.
Hmm.
And it has brought me often out of my comfort zone, and that has not been a bad thing either. So um, but I always say, like, so Rolf already made the decision to go to America. I did always thought I would end up somewhere outside the Netherlands too. And I always said, like, I followed you half the world, and then we ended up in America because America truly still is a land of opportunities, and we're grateful for what we have been able to do over here.
Well, that's awesome, and clearly you still like it there because you're still here.
Yeah. But then you do get older, and you do, like, when you're younger, you don't always realize all this stuff that you do, right? Not that I don't call this a stupid decision, but your family and friends, I think as you get older, you think, oh man, well, it would be, it's not fun to miss out all the parties at home either. But I
Hmm.
made some really nice friends over here too. But also like you can easily go back and forth a little bit easier now than in
Hmm.
the earlier days. So
Yeah, so I wanted to kind of pick your brain on this because obviously you grew up in, and I don't know, there's so many names, Netherlands, Holland, Dutch. I don't know what the right one is.
yeah.
But but so when you're identifying yourself, and there doesn't have to be a 100%, but I guess what does it mean being Dutch and what does it mean being Wisconsin? Because I consider you Wisconsin as well. So like what do those two mean to you?
Um, what does that mean to me? Um, Well, I do have to say, like, I always feel like I have a foot in the Netherlands and I have a foot here in Wisconsin. Wisconsin, for me, the first word was opportunities, um, a new adventure, and then the Netherlands still feels like partly to be home too. Like I have two homes now. So, but I think once your roots are loose, you consider a lot of places your home.
That's fair enough, and I think um I don't know, and I can't speak for you, but being in Wisconsin now has to feel a little bit like home because you're still doing what you were doing as a kid, just in a different place, I guess. Um, so no, I just like to
Sure.
hear that because I, again, only lived in Wisconsin for like 5 years, but I consider myself a Wisconsinite through and through. I have my Milwaukee Bucks shirt on right now.
Oh, that is awesome.
And I wanted to see your shirt too because I loved that. What's Oh man, I need to get one of those.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? I'm really proud of it. It was a gift, and it says "Raw Milk Rockstar." So yeah, I love it.
Oh, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I really want to dive into kind of your credentials because I know you're one of four female Wisconsin master cheesemakers, which is something to be super proud of, not just because you're a woman, but because that is an incredible process. So I just kind of want you to explain to my listeners what that means being a master cheesemaker because it's not just a title, it's not a label. Like you seriously earned and studied and just kind of talk about what that process was like.
Yes, it was quite the process. Sorry, my mind wandered off, and there goes my ADHD a little bit. But
Oh, that's
when
okay.
you say, well, what does Wisconsin well? So if we talk about what does the cheese industry, if I have to say a word and it's related to your question here, then I would say camaraderie. So the cheese industry here in Wisconsin is so close, and they were also the ones that kind of encouraged me, supported me, pushed me to make this next step. So I cannot say enough about the culture here in the cheese industry and how they are the biggest cheerleaders for another. And without that support, I probably like would have pushed this master cheesemaker program out a little bit longer even. But everybody was so incredible and like, Marika, we got to do this. And I'm like, yes, I do. But there's always so much, and we have five children, and when we started, like they were very little, even the youngest were not even born. So you can always find an excuse, you're busy with the
Hmm.
farm and making cheese and with the kids. And so, yeah, but there was a point that I couldn't go around it. And they kept asking me now so often that I'm like, yes, I really will. But maybe I was a little bit afraid too because, well, am I good enough, right? So and you write an application, they look it over, they have a committee, they go over your application, then they come to your place, to your creamery, and you have a one-on-two kind of where they ask you questions to make sure that you do know some basics and a little bit more than just the basics to qualify to get into this 3-year program to become a master cheesemaker. And then you pick, well, which kind of cheese you want to apply for. And for us, it's always been Gouda and it always will be Gouda. So I picked my Gouda that I wanted to be a master in. And then every year you had to do so many courses, and they come periodically to check to make sure that the cheese is up to standards, and ask you more questions. And then at the end, there was an they came again, and you had to do this problem solving case. And then if you answer that correctly, then you can do your 84 questions, like with a minimum of 40 hours, they said. Well, it was for me way more than 40. And yeah, so and then I passed on, I think it was 22 December 2004 when they called me. And I remember they were calling me and said, "Oh, hey Marika, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, that depends on this phone call." And she says, "You're doing really well." I'm like, "Okay, I'm glad." But then the competitive side of me, I had to ask too. I'm like, "Oh, everybody passed? Yeah, oh, wonderful." I said, "But how did I score amongst everybody?" And so yeah, I had 100%. So
Oh my God.
yeah, I was very happy with that. So
So, for a dummy from Omaha, like, what would a question even look like on one of those exams?
oh, they were all over from of course the milk, the cultures, the rennets, um, like what would you do in a certain case? Yeah, it was all over the place. So it is an open book, so you can go and try to find it between all your books that you
Hmm.
have. You had to go through it, and yeah, it was, yeah, learned a lot. I have now I call it my little Bible. I printed it
Oh,
out, and like have a
oh
little
man,
Bible in the
I might
thing.
need to
Yeah,
buy a copy of that.
yeah. Well,
No, but seriously, so I just wanted to tell my audience, just like I mentioned before I asked that question, how it's not a label, it's not a giveaway, how much time and effort and like you are a true cheese legend and crafter, like, and that does not go unnoticed. So when you're, biting into one of your cheeses, I just want my audience to know that it doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of hard work and things like that because I don't know, we take our cheese seriously here. So I just think it's awesome that you got that.
well, thank you. I still consider myself a lucky cheesemaker. I love the feel of the curd, and I feel like the curd is telling me when it's ready. A lot of things can change, like your water temperature might not be up to where you want it to be. So then you need to determine if you wash it a little bit longer, or how you then become, well, how you deviate from the whole thing again, and make sure that the outcome is always the same, because consistency is very important to us. If somebody goes to the store and they, well, buy, we are a farmstead handcrafted artisan cheese, so we are a premium cheese. But they, I want them to give this premium experience too, and if they like it, I want to make sure that next week when they come, that they don't think, "What is this? This is way different than from last week." So consistency for us is really big, and that's why we have one milk source, and that's only our own milk cows. And when the cows get milk, that milk goes straight through a pipeline under the ground into our cheese vat, and we make it within 6 hours into cheese. And
Oh wow.
so there's
It's about
a
as
minimum.
fresh as they can get.
Yes, yes. I actually think we have a Guinness Book of Records going on. But like there's minimum damage from transportation, minimum damage from temperature differences. So I
Hmm.
feel that all adds on. Like any other way is totally fine too, and you have a wonderful cheese. I just think like we have that. We are fortunate that we have that, and that can add on to a fuller flavor. And yeah, so that's why we're not afraid to do a raw milk product on top of that. And just to make sure, we hold it for 60 days. That's a rule. And then we do an in-house testing to make sure too before we release it. And then yeah, we just do everything to make sure it's still a safe product. But I feel like your body can digest it so much better, because it's like it's a full flavor.
It's
And
pure.
yes.
Oh, well, that's perfect. So I was actually just going to ask you, I didn't even have it on my outline. I don't know why. Um, I just want you to explain how to make cheese. I've asked this question to several cheesemakers, but I love to hear everyone's process. You don't have to give any secrets away or anything like that, but just dumb it down to just how to make a block of Gouda cheese or a wheel of Gouda cheese.
I was just gonna correct you. Because what is so typical about Gouda is the wheel shape. But no, yeah, well, it all starts like it's one basic thing, like where we all start with milk and we all start with cultures, and then we add our rennet to it. And that's all. That's all the basic of it. Um, and then you determine a little bit the size of your curds and when you want to cut the curd. So those, then the little differences start already a little bit. And with Gouda, after 30 minutes after we add the rennet, we start cutting around 30 minutes, and then we cut for about 10 minutes. Then we let it still ripen a little bit, floating it, and then we start draining some of the whey.
Way, yeah.
And that's an important difference with Gouda versus, say, for an example, cheddar. Gouda is a water wash curd, and where cheddar will ripen in the whey. Gouda will, we drain some of the whey and then we add hot water to it. So we rise the temperature and we add water to it. And then between Gouda and Gouda cheesemakers, some cheesemakers, Gouda cheesemakers will wash the curds twice. So they will wash it on a shorter time, and they have two steps in the temperature, or you wash it for a longer time. And then, so that's a big difference. After the curd is ready, in our case, it goes into a drain table where we do cut blocks. That's so when we cut the blocks, not around, just to make sure that we don't have extra pieces, because then you can get air between it. So we
Oh,
have a
gotcha. Okay.
block that we put it in a round mold, and then it goes for 60 minutes under a press, and it presses these beautiful round wheels. Um, our wheels are about 20 pounds. We have about 45 wheels coming out of a batch. And then the next important difference with Gouda and cheddar would be, like, instead of adding salt within the curd, we let the cheese soak up its own salt, and it goes in the brine for 60 hours, 2.5 days, where about, it's a fish rule of where 5% will get remaining whey getting pulled out, and then
Hmm.
3% goes in. And it also helps develop a nice rind around the cheese. So when it then comes out, we wait for about um, 36 hours, and then we apply our first coating layer. It's a breathable, I call it, it's a para coating. It's not wax. Wax is very airtight, but this para coating will let the cheese breathe
Oh, okay.
during the aging process. So cheese lose moisture as it ages. And there's another important thing is we have wooden shelves where our cheeses lay on, and with the right protocols in place, it's a very safe way of doing it. And then after, so then we put different layers on during the affinage process, the ripening. And our room is about 55 Fahrenheit, 55 Fahrenheit, and has about 75% of humidity. So that's higher, more warmer temperature than you normally would, like with, again, cheddar, where you vacuum pack the block and you put
Hmm.
it in the cooler. Our cheeses has a lot of, the making is one part of it, but the part after making it is a big, a lot of love, tender, and care involved.
Well, I again will just say, everyone, when you're eating this cheese, hear everything she just said, how that goes into, or what effort it takes to make, a wheel of Gouda. It's not just boom, boom, I can get it. So I that was just wonderfully put. And I always also like to ask, I've watched a couple videos on what people do with their excess whey. Is there anything you do with your excess whey to eliminate waste and just use the most of the product as you can?
Yes, so part of our way actually goes to a pig farmer, a local pig farmer. So he comes and picks it up. So the gets pumped under the ground back to the dairy side, and it goes into a tanker over there, and then the pig farmer comes and picks it up and feeds it to his pigs.
Awesome. Well, that's
Yeah.
just absolute just sustainability. That's incredible.
Yes.
I love that. I was listening to I don't know if it's a podcast or a video, but they actually use their whey to make vodka.
Yes.
So that was interesting. But no, I love what you're doing because I mean, it doesn't matter if you're feeding pigs or making vodka, but just not letting anything go to waste is
No.
super
Sure.
important.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they
Um,
have a
or,
wonderful vodka.
so I told you I was going to throw you a curveball.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so are you familiar with Mount Rushmore?
Yes.
All right, so we're doing a segment that I like to call the Mount Rushmore of cheese. So it doesn't need to be a brand or anything, just we're just going to go back and forth and give kind of our top four types of cheeses, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that is wonderful. Oh, wow.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Oh man. Well, I always start off with this because it's my favorite cheese of all time. No offense. It is brick cheese.
Oh, wonderful. That's
That
unique.
is It is my favorite cheese. It's you can get the mild, put it on a nice sandwich. You can get the smoked or aged and put it on a nice charcuterie board. I just love brick cheese. It's my favorite cheese.
I say that I do hope you get it from a brick cheesemaker here in Wisconsin.
Um well, I did already interview Joey Widmer of Widmer's
Good, good, good,
Brick,
good.
and
I was
so
just gonna say, yeah.
he sent me way too much cheese. Um but no, that is my favorite cheese of all time. No offense.
No, no, totally. And man, I mean, Joe and Joey are wonderful people. What a great family.
Okay. All right, you're number one. Here we go.
Oh, my number one. I well maybe I love brie. I really love brie.
Oh,
Yeah. So not a particular brand, but there are so many wonderful bries out there. So a more softer, ripened cheese. Yeah, could eat it any day.
I can respect that. And I'm not doing this to suck up, but honestly, Gouda is on my Mount Rushmore. I think Gouda is one of the best cheeses out there. It's my wife's favorite.
Oh, good.
Um, it's just again, it's just the perfect cheese. You can do like anything with it.
I think so too. It's kind of funny though when I we started, like I never made cheese in my whole life before. We have our 20th anniversary and it's probably I might have been about 20 years right now, because I made my very first batch on 22 November 2006. So around this time, I probably went to the Netherlands and I spent one day with one farmer cheesemaker and one day with another farmer cheesemaker, and that was all the experience I had. So it's about 20 years ago that I witnessed how to make Gouda, and then in November it was the first batch I ever made. So but what was I'm gonna? Oh yeah. So then when I shared my idea with my neighbor Tom, I said, Tom, I'm gonna make Gouda. And he goes, Gouda? What is Gouda? He had never heard of Gouda. Like, well, so and it's bizarre because for me there was only one kind of cheese. When you come from Holland, there's only one kind of cheese, and that's Gouda. Um, so then I had to explain him what Gouda was. And then the next question that Tom asked me was like, but Marieke, did you really thought this through? Are you sure there are enough Dutchies in this area that will buy it?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and his
Oh,
wife worked for us for a couple years, and he got completely hooked to Gouda, and so it's funny how the tables turn. But that is how unknown Gouda was. So it always makes my heart happy if I hear that people love Gouda. I'm like, ah, see, they're more than just Dutchies that buy it.
no, yeah, it's again, I like cheeses that are versatile. I mean, all you can do a lot with all cheeses, but I just think, yeah, is Gouda is good. That's all I can
Yeah.
say.
But some people thought it was made from goat's milk, which there is a small percentage that, well, there is made from goat's milk. And yeah, like, and they thought it was only for Dutch people or something. Or sometimes when they would had a bad Gouda, we have some bad Goudas around there too. I mean, just like once in a while you run into a bad brick, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, you have different kind, but it doesn't mean you have to hate the whole old
Right.
cheese fry. Yeah, it's cute. So.
All right, you're up. Number two.
Yeah, Gouda. Like I love Gouda. That's why I started it. Actually, it should be my number one. I'm kind of embarrassed I did not say Gouda right away. So
That's
can we
okay.
resave this whole podcast, please?
Well, clearly, we know you love Gouda. Don't worry about it. Oh gosh, my number three. I actually was just introduced to it. Like I've heard of it. I just had never really eaten it. So I was interviewing Ellie, who's the sales manager at Carvalli Cheese, and they had sent me some Fontina.
Oh, there you go. That is good too.
And I just made a simple pasta bake. I just had, pasta and sauce and shredded the Fontina in it. And oh my God, it was so melty. It was just so delicious. So yeah, I have Fontina as my number three now.
Oh, interesting. Fontina, yeah, that scores high too. It's not gonna be my number three. My number three is gonna be burrata. I love burrata.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good, and it's on salad. I make this capri salad with it, and yeah, I could just gobble it up.
Gosh, I always struggle with my number four because I'm torn. It's kind of underrated, but I like a good Munster.
Well, that doesn't surprise me now. If you say brick was your number one, why not Monster second, right? Your third then. But oh, that is funny. Yeah, you
I
have
just
an
like a good
fourth
Munster.
actually. That is an interesting choice. Hmm.
I feel like it's just very underrated.
Uh-huh. But you have to have a certain taste for it too.
Right. Oh gosh. I just
What
love
would
a
you
good
do with it?
Munster.
What would you do with it?
Oh, I can shred it in a mac and cheese.
Huh?
I can put it on a nice deli sandwich. I'm a huge deli sandwich fan. I don't know why I keep saying that, but I'm a huge deli sandwich fan. And then I do have a consolation. If there were five people on Mount Rushmore, it's
Okay,
just
which one?
just fresh mozzarella.
Oh, yes, that is good. That is
So
really
you
good.
so so you can give me your four and a consolation if you'd like.
Hmm. I do like, well, it's Maaslander, and it's like it's um a Dutch variety towards a Swiss. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a big wheel, big eyes, and it has that sweeter note to it. So, but more towards a Gouda still. So it's a Dutch style Swiss. Yeah, Maaslander.
Maslander.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that one.
Well, I think that's a pretty good Mount Rushmore.
I think so too. And blue, where are you with the blue still? How did you do this podcast
Uh,
and not tell Nelson you like the blue?
well, I
Well,
don't mind the blue. Oh, Marika,
you might have to cut now.
I can do all that in editing. It's fine. I don't really mind blue cheese. It's just, I think I need to explore kind of just how to prepare it better, maybe. I don't know. Like, obviously, I'll eat, like, because I'm an American, I'll eat chicken wings with, like, a blue cheese dressing.
Uh-huh.
but like I just have never really wanted to buy a thing of blue cheese. And it's not because it's not good.
No, no. Well, if you take your chances, right? So the chance that you run into a good brick might be higher than, well, for me with my Goudas. It's rarely now that I run into a bad Gouda, right? I do feel with blue cheeses, I still have a 50-50. So,
Yeah, and again, I don't mind it. It's just I never like if I'm going to the store, like I'm just never like I'm gonna pick up some blue cheese. It also sucks because I'm in Nebraska and growing up in Wisconsin, you can go to all these awesome creameries and dairies like you, and we don't really have that here, so you're kind of stuck with whatever, the grocery stores
may I ask
sell.
what grocery stores are you going to? Where do you shop?
Well, so there's we have Hy-Vee obviously, and then so it's a Kroger store. It's called Baker's is the other main one.
Yeah.
Those are the two main ones that we would shop at. But oh, I can't wait to place an order for your cheese.
Oh, yeah. Well, and we would love to send you something too. So, yeah.
Um, so yeah, well, that segment was fun. I always love hearing people like you, especially a master cheesemaker, talk about their favorite cheeses. So I'm going to ask kind of an interesting question, and we touched on it a little bit earlier. So obviously, you grew up in the Netherlands and you're now in Wisconsin. But when you make cheese now, what does home taste like to you? Is it still like that 1 foot in the Netherlands and the 1 foot in Wisconsin, or kind of how does that look like?
How well, for me, it was a little bit like it's a comfort food at that time too, because it reminded me of home. And I actually started making cheese because I wanted to do something for myself before I turned 30. And we had a good Wisconsin milk, and I was missing my cheese from Holland. So one night there was a cow calving, and that's where I came. Like I always say, with the birth of that calf, I came up with, let's make Gouda. Um, and what it then was involved was more like, well, I really wanted to start a business and I was missing my cheese, and it gave me something to do. And now, well, now it's fun to see that same reaction or the same with other people when they people that are from the Netherlands, for an example, when Dutch people come and they try some of my Gouda of or Gouda, that they say, hey, this is actually better than at home, or it tastes like home. Or when Americans, or like when people go visit America and they taste some Gouda over there and think, ah, we have way better Gouda here now in Wisconsin. Like it is so fun to be part of somebody's happy moment. I cannot explain that. That makes me happy. That makes me feel like I contribute to my home here in Wisconsin. And yeah, it's giving me way more than I ever could consider. Like the way I started making cheese, and how we through the 20 years continue growing, but that I now can make other people feel at any moment that they miss the Netherlands, or just give them an experience from the Netherlands through our cheese, is very how do I say, are very like, that makes me, it's almost like a dopamine reset for me.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah. And
absolutely. I love that you said that because the purpose of my podcast is to shrink the world. That's kind of my motto. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're bringing a piece of your culture, your heritage to another place, and it's shrinking the world. That's exactly what it's doing. And so I'm just so proud of you. I really am.
well, thank
And
you.
gosh, I get a little emotional sometimes. Keep it together, Dan. So I before we sign off, I wanted to really talk about just the relationships between the cheesemakers in Wisconsin because everyone I talk to, oh, I know him, I know her, they're amazing. We share ideas, we support each other. Like, you still want to obviously be successful, but just what does that mean when you have like that support system within your industry?
That feels like home. That definitely feels like home. And like I said, like there's a certain camaraderie. We have each other's back. We want everybody to do well, and wherever we can, we will help each other out. And that's a way of a feeling of security that is needed in because life is a roller coaster, and when you're up, that's wonderful, but when you're down, you need your people, you
Mhm.
need your network to make sure that you continue that roller coaster. So
No, I absolutely love that. So, last question is kind of just looking ahead. Do you have anything in store? Are you trying to maybe expand on your product line, or just kind of where is Marieke Gouda going in the next couple of years?
well, we want to be the notorious Gouda in the world, and we want to be and I know a lot of creameries and cheesemakers do it already, but I want to give back through our cheese. We want to be a Gouda with a purpose, and where we I hope I will be in everybody's refrigerator at least once, and that's where we're gonna do. And that's a little bit the long term goals. The shorter term is like, yeah, we are gonna look at some unique flavors, or there is some other fun stuff already in the crock pot going on in the cheese vat. I mean, I should say cheese vat. Um, and yeah, it's exciting. The future is bright and exciting, and we have an amazing team. I cannot say enough about our team, because the biggest capital in a company are still the people that believe in it, what you believe in, and the customers that support you, and the cheese industry. So it's all about people and cows.
Oh, those are my two favorite things in the world, people and cows. So,
They
oh
go
my
very
gosh,
well together.
they do. So, I said that was the last question. It's not. I want you to be able to tell everyone where to buy your cheese because, like you said, everyone deserves a wheel or a wedge of your cheese in their refrigerator. So, where can they purchase your cheese?
Well, they can come and visit us, of course, in Thorp, Wisconsin, if they ever want to do a nice road trip. We have a farmstead where they can see how we milk the cows, and then see how we make the milk into cheese. And they can educate themselves a little bit what that all entails. But they also can go to the several grocery stores in the area. And if they not see us in the grocery that they shop, they definitely should complain about it, because now you're a Marieke Gouda ambassador, and it's part of your job to help us grow. No, but yeah, I always
Oh, I
say
will.
go. I always say go to your local grocery. If you don't see us, just ask them where our cheese is. So they might listen more to you than to me.
Oh, I doubt that. But oh my goodness. Well, I had so much fun today, Marika. I appreciate you joining me today. Just your story, your craft, the heart you bring to everything you make. It's really truly inspiring.
Oh,
And
thank
yeah,
goodness.
for anyone listening who hasn't tried her cheese, which is ridiculous, this is the perfect time. So Marika Gouda has earned some of the highest honors in the industry, multiple international awards. She is a Wisconsin master cheesemaker. So please, as she said, go to your local grocery store. Tell her you need Marieke Gouda at your store and check out mariekegouda.com or at shops all across Wisconsin and beyond. Support a truly world-class cheesemaker and taste the work we talked about today. Marika, thank you so much. This was such a joy.
Thank you so much, Dan. So